Question is, on the subject of John McCain, I do remember that, but I think you were the one that, when I asked what I could do, gave me the vehicle in which I could go outside of the state, even to Vegas, to support that campaign. Was that not right?
That is true.
Thank you.
I want to, as part of our counter response.
Chair. Steve Pelican, Vice Chair, stepping in for Chair.
I think it's important that I can clarify the record.
Is there any more time you want to add?
Yes. And give me 3 minutes.
3 minutes for the Secretary.
I met repeatedly with the chair-elect.
This is questioning, Mr. I'm going to object to you making a statement.
Okay. I'll make a statement later.
The case, I'm just attempting to follow your schedule here and your agenda, and
We did, yeah.
I don't think you're...
exceeded the 10
Okay.
minutes.
Mr. Query, closing comments.
This is an embarrassment for the party, and I tried to keep the charges very narrow and keep it very specific. But I think we've all heard enough here to know that we should, and I hope that the executive, that Mr. Millett, however fine a gentleman he may be in many respects, does not display the qualities necessary to lead the Republican Party. And I'm going to leave it with that.
Mr. Millett, Mr. Ross, your close.
Thanks. We're supposed to be friends here. We're supposed to be working together. It pains me to have to bring out allegations and defend against allegations. We've worked, all of us here have worked very hard for this party, and we got a new guy in town, and some people don't like him, particularly Mr. McQuarrie. And he didn't like the people that came into the party, and yet we're trying to be an all-encompassing party. Did he reach out to him? I don't know. But apparently he doesn't even appreciate the fact that we have new blood in the party that is interested in having a new chairman, not somebody throwing Mr. Riedrich out because he didn't want to run again, but somebody that got elected and wants to get the job done. The problem here has been that there's been no easy transition between one regime and the new one.
Mr. Chairman, point of clarification.
Yeah.
Are we in a closing statement
Yes.
part now?
That is where we are.
Thank you.
Resume, please.
Thank you. Can you hear me, Mr. Shattuck?
Wonderfully. I thought we were in closing, and I just wanted to make sure because I wanted to pay very specific attention. I know you do this well.
Yeah, but I don't like to be interrupted either. In any event, we're supposed to be working together. And we shouldn't be involved in this with the press. We got a new guy in town. If he wants to, he's been elected. Mr. McQuarrie says, we're the Republican Party, but the Republican Party, Mr. McQuarrie, consists of 100-some thousand people, not just the state executive committee, not just the state central committee. And they need to understand who got elected, and everyone needs to work to help this party take over more Republican positions that should be Republican positions. And if you throw Mr. Millett out before you even give him a chance, you're not working towards the best interest of the party.
Thank you, Mr. Ross. Appreciate your efforts. Steve.
Mr. Chairman, is this the point, is there any more debate on this issue, or are we at the end of that process? And if so, I would move that we adjourn to executive session to deliberate the charges.
And I would object to that until everyone that's not participating gets a copy of Mr. Millett's written presentation.
It's been faxed to Juneau.
We have it.
Becca, do you have a fax machine handy?
No, I do not have a fax machine.
Maybe we can take a short recess, you can find out who doesn't have a copy, send them a copy, then if you wanna
Well,
go
our
to
problem
delivery.
is, Mr. Ross, by not providing us this, can you go back to your office and get this digitally so that your original digital record? I mean, this was a digital record before you printed it.
It was? I don't know that. I don't have a Blueberry. I don't have a Walkboy, and I don't even have a cell phone.
Yes, Rex.
Because of the shortness of this document, I would suggest that you read it into the record, and that, in my mind, might suffice for those who are listening.
It's got attachments. I would object to that.
It doesn't have attachments.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
Where are they?
Yeah. They're the staple. Each packet is a staple.
Just his political experience.
Yeah, this packet, every packet.
Put
What?
it in
I
the
have-
packet.
Well, this is Rhonda. Can you scan and email it to him?
You have the,
Do they have the scan?
you have the packet,
Mr. Chairman, I would recommend that somebody takes the photograph, and most of us probably have smartphones, and you can send it that way.
Mr. Chairman, if you can fax it to my Howard fax, it turns it into a digital copy and I can email it.
Send it to her phone. That's perfect.
you have it down there.
You know, Randy, almost every one of the attachments has been emailed previously.
Everything has been emailed except for the cover document.
The cover document.
However, in the interest of making it more manageable, let's allow Chrissy to fax the document to her electronic.
Can we take a 10-minute recess?
We will take a recess to get this documentation moved. Then we will go into executive session to review what we have on this personnel matter and come back out when we're done. Would you like to make that as a motion?
They were
And,
almost dead.
I would so
Since we're
move. Steve Straight,
doing
so
that.
moved.
Steve Straight moves, is there a second? Bruce Schulte seconds. Is there any discussion?
If there's a problem with faxing it, take a picture and email and send it.
Well, yes, sir. I'm confident that this fax process will work because I've used this fax link with the secretary before. With
Wonderful, thank you.
excellent solution. All in favor of the motion that's been made indicate by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Tunnel to the back.
Any opposed? We would clear a path to the fax machine so that Chrissy can send the fax to the secretary. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take
The restroom is on this side of the room.
Perfect timing on.
You stole my chair.
What caliber is that? I was born in Minnesota, but they didn't have a hospital in Superior.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Minnesota.
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen, coming back in.
Lord have mercy.
The executive committee, are we inside? Pushed inside.
The secretary's gonna need to slip that in. Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. The executive committee, is that on? Chrissy, are we on?
Yes, it's on.
Okay. The executive committee voted on one specification. I'll read the specification. Mr. Millet's duty as chair-elect of the ARP was to act as a statewide finance chair through the cycle. His role was to raise money to be deposited in the ARP or Alaska Republican candidate coffers. He failed to perform his duties as finance chair. The executive committee found Mr. Millet guilty of that charge. The specific, or of that specification, the specific charge was relative to the following. Section 1, grounds for removal, the failure to carry out the duties, failure to carry out or perform the duties of the office to which he was elected. He was found guilty of that charge, and the executive committee has voted to remove Mr. Millette from the office of chair-elect of the Republican Party as of this evening.
All other charges.
Okay, yes. All other specifications and charges were dismissed. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to turn the operation over to my colleague, Mr. Cully.
Right, at this time, the second item of the evening is the charges, the complaint brought by Mr. Randy Rudrick against the respondent, Ms. Debbie Brown. And proceeding through those, we'll be following the same procedures as previously held. I would ask the secretary at this moment to read the charges for Ms. Debbie Brown, and then we will move on to the opening statements and other proceedings.
The charges submitted by Randy Rudrick was Mrs. Debbie H. Brown violated ARP Rule Article 10, Section 1A in the conduct of her duties as District 34 Vice Chair. Since Ms. Brown is the District 30 bonus vote, I, as ARP Chair, bring the complaint to the ARP State Chair for the State Executive Committee consideration at the regular SEC meeting on January 14th and continued to January 31st. Article 10, Removal from Republican Party Office. Section 1, Grounds for Removal. Any person holding elected ARP office may be removed from office for any of the following reasons. A. Engagement in activities prohibited by or contrary to these rules or RNC rules. Specifically, Ms. Brown did not follow Article 9, Section 7B to distribute District 34's funds. Article 9, General Policies. Section 7 reads, Alteration of district boundaries due to redistricting. B. Funds held by an ARP district shall be appointed to the new districts according to the percentage of population movement due to redistricting. Secondly, Ms. Brown did not report this distribution of district funds to the state treasurer as directed by Article 7, Section 1D. Article 7 is under Finance, Section 1, Use of Funds. D, for APOC reporting, all ARP political subdivisions shall provide timely reporting to the state treasurer. And that's the summation of charges.
Okay. With that being read, I would ask Ms. Deborah Brown, do you guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, innocent.
Mr. Chairman,
Sir.
at the last hearing earlier this evening, I went through a list of issues, due process violations. I'd like those incorporated into this record also, unless you want me to go through them all again.
No, I think the body has heard those, and we appreciate that. And at this time, I'll ask the secretary to include those in the record, if that's okay with Mr. Ross.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to go through for the body just kind of the process again. So we have opening statements, 3 minutes by the complainant, 3 minutes by the respondent. Presentation of case, 15 minutes by the complainant, followed by 5 minutes available for cross-examination of the complainant by the respondent. And then the defendant's position, or the respondent's position, 15 minutes, and the complainant 5 minutes, and then we'll move on to SEC questions. So at this time, I would ask Mr. Randy Rudrick to have 3 minutes, and if the secretaries are ready, to state the allegations and complaint. And I can stand if that's all.
No, that's okay. Not a problem.
And could I have a copy of the document that Alice read? I don't think I've had a copy of that. So